All right, we're back with the third segment,
Yep.
review time.
Review time.
Luke, this one's all you.
Yep.
2 things this week.
Yeah.
What do you got?
So I had a chance. We did some unboxings last time, and I spent some time with 2 things, and I'm gonna tell you what I think. The first one is the CENGCEN um, dog dog camera treat dispenser.
Okay.
So it's a little kind of a mouthful, pun intended, maybe. I guess I don't know. So this thing's kind of cool, actually. It is a treat dispenser, but it also has a built-in camera and a speaker and microphone, so you can talk to your pet when you are not home.
Okay.
And you can give them treats. I I was impressed by the build quality. In the unboxing, it was made pretty well, it seemed like. And when I got it home to put together and mount it on the wall, it comes with a mounting bracket, and it was super easy to set up that way. When you go in to actually start using it, you have to download a third-party app, and then you create an account, and you sync up your camera station, and then you're good to go. The thing actually works pretty well as far as being able to talk to it. Now, my dog is notorious. She's a little over 2, and she doesn't understand screens at all.
Okay.
So, like, we've been, watching a show with a dog, and she'll hear like a dog bark or something, and she'll look like at the window. She doesn't realize, and she doesn't understand the concept of a screen.
Sure.
We'll try and show her like a phone, like if it's like Google Duo or something with somebody that's not home.
Right.
And she just doesn't know where to look. She, which is fine. It's a dog, whatever. So when you go to communicate and say, "Hey, Sydney," she's confused. So she doesn't quite know where. You can see her on the camera going back and forth around to try and figure out. And I imagine after time, the dog would maybe learn, that's where the sound is coming from. She knows where the treat comes from, because the way it works is you hit a treat button, and there's a little kind of like wheel in there that has some sections in it. It'll take from the hopper at the top and kind of preload some snacks. And then when it drops in, there's a spring-loaded push, and it'll kind of shoot the treat out.
Okay.
Not high velocity. It's not going to hurt your pet or anything, but it does kind of shoot it out, and it'll go across the floor or whatever. I found that in testing it, the size of the treat really matters. So what we normally use for her is like a 1 inch by 1 inch kind of square biscuit kind of thing. Those are too big.
Okay.
So what they recommend is I think they said like a 1.14 centimeter treat. So pretty small, tiny treats.
Sure.
If you have a bigger dog, and Sydney's not that big, but if you have a bigger dog and it's used to bigger treats, might not be the thing for you.
Right.
So this is maybe made for, littler dogs.
Cats.
Maybe cats, yeah.
Meow mix kind of
right.
Friskies things.
Right. So that's what I found. I thought maybe I just had it loaded in wrong, and then I, did a little bit of research and looked at their manual, and it said in kind of their FAQ section of having problems with the treats, this is the recommended size. But overall, it's really cool. There are some it has a LED light on the side that let you know it's connected, and there's some little stickers that go over that if you don't want that to be seen.
Okay.
Or to be, it's not completely opaque, so you can still see the lights on that's connected, but it's not as bright. So it has a couple little features, and the fact that there's separate routing ways in the back for plugging it in.
Oh, so if
stuff
you want
like
to run
that.
the cord this direction.
Yeah, down or to the side or whatever. So it seems like they did a little bit of, there's some thought into kind of how it's made. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with it. Overall, I gave it a 3.25.
Okay.
So above average.
Yeah.
I think for me, the only hang-ups were you can only give 3 treats a day on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So not sure if like there'll be like a software update or something like that, or an option to change that. But depending on, I mean, I guess 3 treats a day while you're gone. I think they're probably thinking you're not going to be gone for that long, maybe.
Yeah.
But that can be,
Yeah.
that can be maybe on the low side. To me, it seems kind of okay. You don't necessarily want to give your pet a bunch of treats all the time.
Sure.
So I think maybe that's the mentality they were going with. So it's not just an always
Just a
spam,
constant, yeah.
But
Interesting.
that's one thing that's kind of weird. And that's what you see a lot of the feedback too, is people saying, I don't understand a limit on the treats.
Mm-hmm.
If I buy this, I should be able to give my pet as many treats as I want or whatever.
Sure.
But, anyway.
Or if you have a bigger pet and you had to switch to smaller treats,
maybe a couple treats.
Maybe you'd like to be able to shoot out 2
exactly.
or 3.
So that's one thing. And then the other thing is just the app interface is pretty good, but it's not great.
Okay.
You can give people access to the app. So if I wanted to, give my wife access so she could log in and give the dog a treat, or the kids or something like that, you can do that. The only downside is they also have to sign up for an account. You can't just share a phone number.
Okay.
So that's a little bit of, it feels wrong. Like, I guess I understand it, but it feels a little bit of a bait and switch of kind of like or maybe like a email gathering kind of thing. Like it just feels something about it. Like it's okay if I sign up for the account and want that, but if I want to give somebody else access, it's still my account.
Sure.
They shouldn't have to put in their information and make an account. But overall, it's really cool. It's a cool thing. I don't know how much we'll actually use it. Like I said, because of the treat size just for our particular dog. But I imagine if it was a smaller, if our dog was used to smaller treats, this would work great.
Yeah, and one thing that I've just encountered with other dispensers, and it's not exclusive to this one, a more moist treat tends to work better too.
Well, so that's the one thing also they say is don't use any wet treats or any sticky treats.
Interesting.
Probably, well, there's 2 reasons I think is just the hopper mechanism and the wheel. Things could get stuck in there. And then the other thing is if you ask about cleaning it, they say the insides are not waterproof, so don't run it through with water. So they're thinking the way the hopper's made, probably nothing wet in there is the best, thing. Because if it sits for too long, maybe it gets hard and maybe messes up the gears of the hopper. Who knows?
The reason I say that was, and it could be the way the other one was designed, was more of a cylinder.
Yeah.
And it kind of turned this direction.
Yeah.
And then dropped them down and shot it out.
Yeah.
As
more like a classic gumball kind of thing.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I found that by the time it got to the bottom and then kicked out the treat, that if it was a drier type of treat, it would kind of explode it.
Yeah.
So it would like crumble.
Gotcha.
So then every so often you kind of take your finger and you're fishing out little crumbs. So that's the only reason I suggested that.
Gotcha.
But that makes sense if it works in a different manner.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool after it, it has this wheel and it comes down and, the treat is up here in the hopper and it takes it kind of like a revolver almost.
Yeah.
And then drops it down. And then there's this little mechanism that just kind of pushes it out and shoots it out. And it's got a little bit of force. It's on a spring, so it will shoot it out. But it's cool, man. The sound works good. You can hear the video quality is pretty good. I would say it's probably dependent on your light in your room. It's not something that if you have it in a room, in the evening and you have the light off and you're not going to see great.
Sure.
But in, during the day, if the windows, shades drawn, even if it's daylight, I had no problem seeing through the camera. It doesn't have any motion detection or anything, so it's not something made for like security cameras or it's not going to add to your home security, but it is good for what it does for a pet and talking to your pet.
And how much does this cost?
This is $110.
Okay.
So it's not bad. I feel like that's a fair price given the build quality of it and the features it does have. It like as we said on the unboxing, it is a 2.4 gig and 5 gig wireless network. So it's made to work a little bit better than most things we've seen working on Wi-Fi. And it has a 16 gig flash memory, so you can hold like 36 hours of video. So you can also record your pet too.
Okay.
But yeah, that's about it. It's pretty sweet.
Right on. And that was the CENGCEN?
CENGCEN dog camera treat dispenser.
All right. Thank you, Luke.
No problem.